And welcome back now to the Sydney Football Stadium. You join a crowd of around 35,000 here. And of course, predominantly, Illawarra Steelers have come from the south coast of New South Wales to crowd into rugby league headquarters. The Broncos, they'll probably feel as though it's a similar atmosphere to what we experience here in New South Wales when we travel to Lang Park, because the Steelers have come up in their thousands for today's game. Tony Ray, talking of that club, is with their club captain, Chris Walsh.
Well, Chris, incredibly exciting times for the Illawarra Steelers, but for you personally, you must be doing it pretty tough sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit tough, but, I'm just so pleased with the blokes, and everyone down home is just wishing that, they go well.
Well, they are up against it today. How's the mood?
Well, they look pretty tense in the dressing room, but they looked the same last week. But they're up against the Brisbane side with a lot of talent. But I'm sure if they control the ball and play with enthusiasm, I think they'll do all right.
You've just come from backstage. What's happening back there?
Well, the coach has had him in the one part of the dressing room, and he's given them a bit of a talking to and that, and trying to boost them up a bit. And they look good.
Thanks very much, Chris.
Thank you.
Tony Ray with Chris Walsh. This, of course, is the match that will decide which side goes straight into the grand final and who, in fact, will play St George in the preliminary final next weekend. Magnificent structure, the Sydney Football Stadium. Of course, it's not the most pleasant place to be when the rains come. That's been the major criticism of it. But other than that, it's certainly on a fine day as a beautiful place to watch rugby league. They've been doing the Mexican wave. They've been chanting for their clubs, and they're ready for it now, this crowd of around 35,000. The Brisbane side, led out by Alan Langer. They won the minor premiership, and they won it so easily. Here's their team: O'Neill at fullback, Hancock and Khan the wings, Renoff and Johns continues that class. It goes right through the ranks. Walters, Langer, then it's Madison, Can, Gilmeister, Alan Lazarus, and this man, Kerrod Walters, is back in the number 9, and he's going to make an enormous difference. Wayne Bennett is the coach. A couple of times we've interviewed him, and he's been supremely confident. And now here they come, one of the Cinderella stories that continues to unfold in this intriguing 1992 Winfield Cup. The Steelers from Wollongong. Young John Cross, 21, and Riolo is at the back. Wishart and McIndoe the wings, Rodwell, McGregor in the centres. What an enormous clash it's going to be there. Simon and Neal, they form the halves, and this is the pack. Cross, Pinchinelli, Dunn, Teachel, Waddell, and Schifoletti. He leads the side in the number 9 shirt. Graham Murray is their coach. They come together just for a last chat, last motivation, but all the motivation might not stop that little fella from cutting them up if he's on one of those days.
And Ray, looking at the conditions out there, very similar to yesterday afternoon, a swirling wind. It does appear, looking at the flags on the far side of the field, that the Steelers will be the team with some sort of advantage in this first half. They are kicking off. They will go very deep and look to get their defence set from the word go and force the Broncos to kick from their own line.
Greg McCallum is the man in charge of the game. It's come down, it seems, to a two-man battle, either this man or Graham Annesley, for the prized Winfield Cup Grand Final to be played today fortnight. Right to left then for the men in red, the Illawarra Steelers. The Broncos, they won the minor premiership and they won it easily. The top 3 sides are still with us, and that so often has been the case since 5-team semi-finals, as Willie Kahn is asked to bring the ball back for the first time for Brisbane. Bill Dunn in the headgear and John Cross in 13. Glenn Lazarus is a man that has to be stopped. He plays the ball. Now Gilmeister, arguably their best player right through the year, given that he's been with Coach Wayne Bennett while the others have been on rep duties. Langer sends it down towards the wing occupied by Wishart. They got away to a blistering start against the Saints last weekend, Illawarra. Riolo put down by Renoff. Madison in number 13 coming over the top. Neil away now for Tietzel. But Brisbane up smartly in defence and snuffing him out on the 32-metre line.
And there's no doubt that Illawarra are favoured by that breeze. The first kick of Alan Langer, well, it was fielded 40 metres out by Rod Wishart from his own line. And that's going to be important out there, the long kicking game for the Steelers. John Simon, the key man there, and he's the guy that they will go back to. Well, they've gone the other side now. It's come to John Cross, so there's another option for the Illawarra Steelers.
Julian O'Neill, a little fumble, puts Illawarra all onside. O'Neill had to put his body on the line to take that ball. 5 metres out from their own line for Willie Kahn to play it and Langer to spread the ball. Kevin Walters is now taken by Billy Dunn.
Well, a shaky start there for O'Neill. He had to stretch to get that one. He was lucky it wasn't called back by the referee for a forward pass, but now Lazarus, he's the man who will lead this Brisbane side into the grand final, I think, leading from the front. He's a hard man to stop.
Well, he's knocked on there. The first mistake of the game comes from Alan Cann, only 25 metres out from his own line. We see a good tackle there from John Simon. The ball came out, Skiffality over the top, and Michael Neal, will feed the ball 10 metres in, 25 out.
Neil, our man of the match in the game against St George, away for Simon. John Simon. Oh! Gavin Allen came in and banged him, and McCallum has seen it. This will be a penalty right in front from 22 out.
And that was silly play there by Allen. The man had to be stopped, but to do it in that fashion, he was stopped, he was down, and Allen came in with a swinging arm, and that's criminal. 20 metres out, right in front of your own post.
Yeah, it's a cheap shot, that one. Fortunately, John Simon had half an idea that it was coming and was able to get out of some way. And it's going to cost them 2 points.
Steve Roach is with us today. He's our sideline commentator.
Well, we can easily see so early in this game that the Illawarra Steelers must put players like Glenn Lazarus and Gavin Allen away, right down on the ground, and sort of try and slow down the play.
Wishart with what appears a simple penalty kick at goal, but last weekend he missed a simpler one than this after we said exactly that. 20 metres out, right in front. No worries from this one. Rod Wishart makes it 2-0 in favour of the Steelers. So 2-0 to Illawarra. 4 minutes gone. Beautiful day in Sydney.
It makes you wonder what was going through Gavin Allen's mind there. I know he's a hard, fit man, but to do something like that in front of your own sticks.
Rodwell brings it back from the kickoff. 15 out from his own line. His team leading 2-0. Off an indiscretion from Gavin Allen and a penalty goal by Rod Wishart. Tietzel. Young and exuberant. Plays it just outside his quarter. Pinsonell. Swarmed over by the Broncos. Kerrod Walters, Alan Langer, Gavin Allen. Cross now. Deep ball for O'Neill. This time he lets it bounce. Probably a show there from Julian O'Neill that he's lacking a bit of confidence.
That certainly was a lack of confidence shown by O'Neill. He could have taken that one on the full with a bit of effort, but preferring to let it bounce. And Illawarra will have seen that. We're going to see a lot more kicks put down his throat before the day's out.
Very intelligent work from Illawarra. They've targeted the fact that John Simon would be pressured in the kicking department. So they've got John Cross kicking the football, and he's kicking 50 or 60 metres on the fly. They are going towards O'Neill, so that they do believe, as Paul Vorton does, that may be the weakness out there, the high ball to the fullback.
Willie Kahn dropped onto the ground, 15 out from his own line. The thing about these Broncos is that you've got to be intense with your defence at all areas of the ground. they can put a try on you from inside their own 22. So Illawarra, they've got to keep up their intensity in defence right through the day.
And that intensity, Ray, means you've got to stop the football. The problem that you have with teams with the class and the running ability of Brisbane is the ball let go by Alan McIndoe. He does very, very well to stay in.
Well, that was almost acrobatic by both performers there, McIndoe and Johns. Johns was really going to pile him.
And it was a big play. If McIndoe had been taken over the sideline there, it's a scrum feed to the Brisbane team, 25, 30 metres out. It was a big play from McIndoe and another good play there from his wing partner, Rod Wishart, to take some yards.
The ball is with Teetsel. Wrapped up there by Alan Cann and Gavin Allen. Skiffaletti for Neil. Neil dropping it over into that corner, waiting it. I don't know that it was meant to find touch. It was more an opportunity for his flankers.
Knock on.
Knock on by Brisbane. Well, they've got a bit of the old semi-final jitters in the early part.
And they're not trying to find touch with these kicks. It's a better play. Well, there's Hancock, the ball just coming out. They've got such a good chasing game, the Steelers, that they want to quick play the ball from Brisbane. It's taking a long while for these big forwards to come back.
Here's a chance for Illawarra. Wishart is brought down 10 metres out from the line. They come left for Neil. He uses the cutout ball around the back. And now Riolo! Stand by! It's a try!
Well, that is absolute class from the Illawarra back line. All came from the knock-on by Michael Hancock as a result from the kick, but they've gone out to their danger man. And there he is, Paul McGregor. Marvellous work to put Riolo in a gap, and the man on the ground there, the number 4, Chris Johns, he's a great defender, but they beat him hands up there.
Well, I thought Johnsy made a mistake in just going in here. There was 3-on-3, should never have been a try, but Johns didn't stay on his man, Riolo, who put in a great effort to go in the corner there. Took a while for McCallum to make the decision, but it finally went the Steelers' way, and they've got off to a great start. A shock to the Brisbaneites.
And as soon as you can put a defender back on his heels, which they did to Chris Johns there, you're halfway towards beating him. That's what they did to Chris Johns, and a marvellous start, Steve Roach, for this Illawarra team.
Yeah, it certainly is. If they needed any confidence, that's the sort of confidence they needed to get up early. But I think Chris Johns is a bit worried about Steve Renou's defence. He went in there to help him, and that's a cardinal sin.
Well, dream start for Illawarra. The Broncos, though, with their own lapses, built the pressure. They built the pressure for themselves, and Illawarra able to capitalise. Wishart with that penalty goal earlier. 1 from 1, this time from the sideline. 25 metres out. He'll take a big kick from Wishart. The breeze swirling around. Oh, he sent it way out. No goal. Illawarra leading Brisbane by 6 points to 0.
And Illawarra obviously taking a leaf out of St George's book from yesterday, Peter, where St George kept putting the kicks down to those corners and putting the pressure on the opposition to get back on side and bring the ball back. We've seen them do it a couple of times now, and Brisbane have come up with a couple of mistakes.
Well, that's fortunately a mistake. That's gone backwards. A knock-on that's gone backwards for Rod Wishart. And I do agree. The fact that they are kicking for the corners and not trying to find touch. Generally, the greatest show of enthusiasm in a team is their chase on those kicks. Illawarra very well served there. And as I said earlier, they want to quick play the ball from Brisbane. It's taking a long while for these big Brisbane forwards to turn around and get back, and they're coming up with 2 or 3 tackles before they're allowed to do anything with the football, the Brisbane side.
Pinchinelli out wide. This is the last for the Steelers. Simon. Khan turned around, opting to let it go. So the scrum will go down midway, 22 halfway. Brisbane's end of the ground. Illawarra leading by 6 points to 0 after 10.5 minutes. Steve Roach. We'll come back to Steve in just a moment.
Can you have a knock-on that goes backwards?
I don't think so. One of your best, Sterlo. Now here's a chance as Johns makes good metres out wide from the scrum.
Walters, Renoff. Kevin Walters at acting half. Gilmeister. Cam. Almost going right through the Illawarra forwards. 35 away from their line. Kieran Walters. Langer. Chips over, looks for the bounce. Riolo at full speed brings it back.
And a beautiful tackle by Gilmeister to clean him up. Brisbane looking okay with the ball. They just need some possession, some time with the pill to get their game back into order. Too many experienced players out there to let that early try upset them.
One of the first things you must address in playing this Brisbane team is Alan Langer's short kicking game. Riolo was in very good position there. Langer's, well, he's the master at it, putting a little one over the top and regathering, but well read by the Illawarra cover.
Skiffaletti, they couldn't put him down. Now, Rodwell strides up the centre. Michael Neal. John Cross, off his right foot, picks up McIndoe. Beats Khan, no he doesn't. Khan got him again.
Oh.
McIndoe's lost the ball at the end of all of that.
Yes, it's come apart, unfortunately. Alan McIndoe wasn't held, so he got up, regained his feet, looked to pick up Brett Rodwell. That was a great pass and a great break made by John Cross. McIndoe pushed off Khan, he wasn't held there. There's Rodwell coming in support, didn't expect the football, and unfortunately it broke down, and now a Brisbane feed 10 metres out from their own line.
Khan.
I'll tell you what, that right foot step by Cross to beat Chris Johns was sensational already. Brisbane have missed 8 tackles in the opening 13 minutes.
Renoff parcelled up, 5 metres out from his 22. Well, we don't need to be reminded of the speed of the Illawarra lock forward, John Cross. We've seen him do a couple of things more befitting a wing three-quarter. Here's Brisbane doing something with it now. Khan losing his footing. Parcelled up by McIndoe. Oh, wild pass by Brisbane. Can is easy meat there for Pincinelli. Steve Roach now.
Yeah, it looks like Brisbane aren't right on their game. They seem to lack a bit of enthusiasm.
Langer dropping it over the heads of the three-quarters. Wishart. Precariously close to the touchline, brings it away. Beats Walters. Beat Kevin Walters. Pulled down by Gavin Allen. Simon. Neal. Now Rodwell. Gilmeister. In the tackle with Kerrod Walters. Skiffaletti. Pincinelli. Right on the halfway line. 14 minutes of time gone first half. Skiffaletti out from dummy half, gains 3. Back to Pincinelli, on to Dunn, now Neal. Neal across for Teitzel. Teitzel looks to pop it. Intercept. Hancock. Away from Waddell. How strong is this boy, Michael Hancock?
Yes, he sort of looked for someone to run into there. He had some open space in front of him, but looked for someone to run into, and they handled him quite easily in the end. And now penalty to the Brisbane side, right in front of the post. And quick takedown by Alan Langer.
Langer down to the quarter-way line, picks up Johns. Chris Johns is 18 metres out from the line. Illawarra leading by 6-0, and this is their first real test. Kerrod Walters plays it. Langer gives it to Cam. Taken by Waddell. Now they're 7 metres from the line. Well, they've had their chance to show us their attack. Now their defence. Kevin Walters. 9 out from the line. Renoff. Gilmeister. Gets it back for Kerrod Walters. Away for Khan. Taken by McIndoe. Gets away. Comes out to the 22 line. Lazarus and Khan making the tackle.
And the decision by Alan Langer not justified there. I thought they had to take the kick for goal. He decided to go for the 6 as the Illawarra Steelers keep the ball alive. Here's Rodwell again getting involved. The centres having marvellous matches for the Steelers. But Alan Langer, I think, earlier has made the wrong decision and cost a possible 2 points.
Big shoulder charge from Gilmeister on Waddell. Skiffaletti for Rodwell. I made mention of Rodwell in my commentary last weekend, and there's that big shoulder charge. The number of times, though, Rodwell goes in and takes some pressure away from the forwards. And does more than he's asked to do in a game of rugby league. Hancock.
And this is what I'm talking about. That's 2 tackles. Brisbane aren't in a position to do anything apart from one off play. Here's Renouf. That's 3 tackles and they've gone 4 metres.
And a few walkers out there for the Brisbane side. Gavin Allen was late to that ruck, and now Lazarus brings one up and just cops one there.
Kevin Walters comes up with the ball. 46 to 45 the tackle, so they really cancel themselves out. Played by Kerrod Walters, Madison for Langer. There's the chip again. Riolo coming up from the deep. Tackled by Langer in combination with Kevin Walters.
Well, Alfie doesn't take many wrong options. If that one was one, the little kick was never wrong because Riolo was on the fly. He knows about Langer's kicking game.
And what a start Alan McIndoe has had. He's touched the ball 3 or 4 occasions and he's beaten a man each time. And these outside backs for Illawarra, as Ray Warren pointed out, are really coming in and taking a lot of pressure off the forwards who are working hard in their own right.
Teitzel to play it just beyond the halfway. Cross across for McGregor. 5 tackles gone for the Steelers as Simon pushes it down towards Julian O'Neill. This time he's safe. Had a super season, Julian O'Neill, but just a little bit of nerves in the early part of this game today. Khan.
And one thing we have learned about the Brisbane team over this season is that not to relax against them. Things might not be looking to go that well for them, but all of a sudden, through some touch of brilliance out there, they will put something on. They really have to stay on their game, the Illawarra team, concentrate and especially stop the football.
Gavin Allen tries to get it away. This will be 6 more, I think, for Brisbane. Yes, it is. Steve Roach on the sideline.
Which, as we said last week, Ray, the speed of this Illawarra side of playing the ball makes it hard for the Brisbane side to get a big hit on their opponents.
Well, there's another mistake made by Brisbane. Illawarra straight onto the attack. Pinchinelli away for cross. Cut out pass out to McIndoe. McIndoe held about 30 metres out from the line. Cross a dummy half. This is Neal, now Pinchinelli. Takes it to the centre of the ground. Still 30 metres out. Teitzel. Right on the 22 line. 18th minute of the game. 6-0 Illawarra. Waddell, Neal, sweeping around. McGregor on his knees and then got the ball away, but Brisbane come up with it. O'Neill, he runs it out from his own line.
They can't afford to get too fancy, Illawarra. That was the move that they scored the try with last week. McGregor ran in a try next to the post. Unfortunately, he just tried to keep the ball alive a little bit too much, and the intercept was taken by Brisbane, and all the pressure now off. Langer looks to go wide. Kevin Wallace, a long pass. Well, another mistake. This is unbelievable. Steve Renouf, no chance of catching that one.
Andrew G is getting ready to come off the interchange bench. 20 minutes gone. And 6-0 in favour of the Illawarra side. Steve Roach.
Yeah, Andrew G will be replacing Gavin Allen.
As the scrum prepares to go down 25 metres out. Referee McCallum ordering timeout as some attention goes out there for Craig Teitzel. Time back on. Chapter of errors made by Brisbane. The scrums are 3-1 to them. Normally, though, the team that's won the most scrums is the team that's on the back pedal. Wide ball for Rodwell. He gets the legs pumping. He tried to get it inside the 22, but the gap closed. Neal works the blind side. Schiffoletti tries to promote it. They're 15 out from the Broncos line. Neal, inside ball for Dunn, steps away, looks back, finds the support. I think it's John Cross that's down there. It is. He plays it 5 out. It comes blindside for Simon. It came off a Bronco, but then came off a Steeler. So it's going to be a knock-on, probably against Illawarra. I thought it came off the legs of the Brisbane Bronco player.
I think you'll find he's ruled that it's a knock-on to the Brisbane side first, and Illawarra will probably have this feed. Although he's now gone over and seen his touch judge. Good work, Greg McCallum. They've discovered it came off Trevor Gilmeister's chest, and it's a Brisbane feed.
Khan now tries to break away from his own 10-metre line. Away from Kevin Walters, Renoff. Hancock's coming up on his outside. Here they go! Renoff over the halfway. Down to the 32. Hancock on his inside. Langer. Smothered by Tietzel. Andrew G. Terrad Walters back for Kevin. Now Chris Johns. Rodwell over the top, Schifoletti underneath. Madison for Kevin Walters. Waddell's tackle was a bottler. And another knock-on. We'll see a turnover about 5 metres inside the Illawarra 22 line.
And that really was a chance for the Brisbane side, wasn't it? Steve Renouf made the great break, but in the end he didn't even look for support, never looked for the fact that Hancock was steaming up on his inside. If he draws and passes, it's a try under the pace for the Brisbane side.
I thought the Steelers did pretty well scrambling in defence. Michael Neal got back there. They certainly didn't have the pace, but they managed to get in the road somehow. In fact, Hancock had to change direction 2 or 3 times to try and get into that open space. With the speed of Renouf and Hancock, it did look like a try. And that's the danger playing Brisbane. They came out from their own quarter, Renouf made the break, and something was on straight away.
Tietzel. Terrad Walters wrestling with him. Lazarus had to come over the top with an assist. Schifoletti. Simon's kick coming down towards the Brisbane 22 where O'Neill is safe. Khan brushing away from McIndoe.
And it's looked very dangerous, Willie Khan, for Brisbane. I think he's been their best player, certainly the player most likely to make a bust. As again they go wide, Langer looks to pick up Chris Johns inside. A good tackle over the top from John Simon.
Almost on the halfway mark. Madison draws them and pops the ball onto the chest of Andrew G. Langer. Wide ball now. Out from Kevin Walters to Willie Khan. They've got the fullback to beat. Gives it to O'Neill. Turns it inside. Kevin Walters. Kevin Walters. He puts the icing on the cake. Superb Broncos try.
One of their best. All you can say is magnificent work by the Broncos. It's taken them 20 minutes to settle down, 25, but they're on the board. A great try to the Broncos. Started with some great passing. Beautiful pass here by Kevin Walters to Khan. A bad miss by McIndoe. And then a simple case and draw and pass. Cross came over and cover, but O'Neill found the man on the inside. Kevin Walters, he started it with the pass. He finished it. Well done, Broncos.
The missed tackle was the key. Alan McIndoe here. A very poor attempt on Willie Khan. He is an evasive player, and he positioned his outside man very well. Went in towards the fullback. John Cross did a marvellous job to get across, but there's Kevin Walters' support play really is one of the keys to this Brisbane team, and he was there to be the man to put the ball over the line. 11 tries for the season, and the scoreline is 6 points to 4 with the kick to come. Terry Madison, a very difficult one.
They're very keen on throwing the pill around, Sterlo, aren't they? At this stage, they're not really getting their forwards to lay the foundations.
Well, you can be critical, can't you? You can say, well, they're trying to throw the ball around too much, and when the side is attempting to do that, they probably are going to come up with more mistakes, but they're also going to create problems for the opposition. And that occasion, with the skill that they've got, that problem was 4 points against Illawarra.
I suppose it is the way they have played all year, though, isn't it? But the forwards, they're going okay. Lazarus and Allen up front. Sideline comments, Steve Roach.
Yeah, well, Illawarra have just made a replacement. David Welsh has come on for Craig Tietzel, who I thought was one of Illawarra's best players early in that first half.
Well, there's been a lengthy pause as we wait for Madison to attempt conversion.
Well, he's actually made him change the mound. He tried to sneak a metre there, Terry Madison.
Craig Tietzel has been replaced by David Walsh. Madison was waiting for the sandboy, and It looked as though he was calling for a drink bottle, and of course that duly arrived.
Well, Terry Madison's kicked 67 goals for the season. None more important than this one. And the breeze won't help with this one, Ray.
One of the few old-fashioned kickers left in the game, Terry Madison. 23 out, one in from touch, left the boot okay. It looks good. The flags are up. Great kick by Madison. 6 points all. The Broncos come streaming back.
Oh, absolutely sensational kick by Boxhead Madison. Never looked like missing. Just snuck over the bar, but fantastic. And that'll give them a lift. Straight as you like. And over that black dot.
He's obviously having trouble making the uprights because both touch judges came up adjacent to the posts to rule on it. Khan comes away off the dead ball line.
I'll tell you the player who's impressed me early for the Broncos has been Kerrod Wallace. He hasn't played for a month, but he's been getting through a lot of work. That's a great run by Lazarus. His darting runs from dummy half have been very good. He just lacks a bit of support, and they've got to roll on now, the Broncos.
Gilmeister finding Reynolds. Bumps away from McGregor once, but not a second time. 32 metres out from their own line. 6 points all. We're locked up at Rugby League headquarters at the moment. Langer away. Kevin Walters. Peter Sterling said it all. One of the game's best backer-uppers. Probably only second, I would imagine, to Terry Lamb. He can smell a try, Kevin Walters. Langer, long ball away for Kevin Walters now. Madison out wide. He makes the break. Renouf takes it inside 32. Finds Hancock, who in turn gets a pass away. Was there a high tackle involved there on Alan Cann?
Well, there may have been a high tackle, and again it took some scrambling defence from Illawarra. I thought they might have butchered a try there, Brisbane. The final pass there. Now it was a good shot by Skiffoliti. There's the high one from Rodwell. It did clean up the Brisbane player. And there's the man who was responsible, but a let off there for the Steelers.
Rodwell plays it 40 out from his own line. This is David Walsh. Brisbane stretched the Steelers a couple of times in recent minutes. Waddell.
The reason they've broken the defence lately, Ray, is that they're running straight onto the football. Skiffoliti finds touch just on the 22, but when they hit the ball, they're outside men at speed. They run very straight, and that's very difficult to cope with. Generally, it's an easy tackle with the player running sideways to you, and when they come at you straight on, you do tend to find a hole that little bit easier.
12 and a half minutes out from half-time. Scrums are 4-2 to Brisbane. Reserve grade today, an easy victory for North Sydney, the minor premiers. And in President's Cup, after extra time, St George beat Western Suburbs. Gilmeister. Kerrod Walters now. Langer. Lazarus. They're on the halfway. Madison.
Kerrod Walters' runs do take the whole team forward, Paul, don't they? It's a compulsory backup, and they get that second phase going.
And what they do, they get the defence to stop. They've got to stop coming forward, but he's coming at them so early. And then Brisbane, with their second phase play, just carry on the ball.
Langer turning Riolo around. Good piece of football by Langer. Skiffoliti spreads the ball now for McGregor. Madison comes over the top of Renouf's tackle. Wishart. Penalty goes to Illawarra. It's declared that Steve Renouf was inside the 5.
A very lazy play there by Renouf. You've got to be critical of him. He never attempted to get back on side. He knew he was offside. Nothing but a penalty could have eventuated there, and that's what's happened.
6 points all. One of these sides taking the shortcut to the grand final. Loser waiting 7 more days to meet the Saints in the preliminary final. Billy Dunn has worked hard, Him and Waddell right through the year. Cross, 21 years of age, captained the Steelers this year. From memory, it was in the match against Great Britain, and maybe in a couple of other club games as well. David Riola plays it back for Waddell. The pass looked forward to Schiaffeletti. Walsh, Simon electing to use the bomb this time. Khan comes away, loses the ball. Now a chance for Illawarra. Pinchinelli. 22 metres out. Simon for Schiaffeletti. Wide for Walsh. Wider for Rodwell.
These blokes are taking the bombs okay, but they can't hang on to it once they get it. And Illawarra get another set of 6 at them. And it's dangerous when you get a few sets of them inside the half. Brisbane are going to have to pull out all stops here.
Neil, run around with Simon. Langer reads it well, comes around and snuffs him out. Good anticipation by Langer. Cross. 5 gone for the Steelers. Haven't done a great deal with this set of 6. Simon plugging it down into the in goal where it goes over the dead ball line. That means it comes back to the 22 for the restart.
And that's the class of Alan Langer. He realises when Brisbane are in a little bit of trouble and he needs to come up with something special. There was a marvellous tackle on the run around there, and the next play he was able to wrap up John Cross at dummy half, and that nullified any momentum that the Illawarra Steelers had gained from the mistake made by Willie Kahn.
And there's a touch judge's run onto the field, and he and McCallum have moved over towards the eastern side of the field, and they're going to call out a Brisbane player.
Andrew G it is that's being called out. Obviously, it was while Illawarra had the football on that last set of 6.
No doubt this will be a penalty to the Illawarra side, or some type of indiscretion.
Six all. 8.5 minutes from half-time, and there's the penalty. Penalty goes to the Steelers. 22 out, 15 in from touch. That was the tackle, and there was a little short arm.
Forearm jolt in there. Killer Kowalski couldn't have done any better. Sideline comment, Steve Roach.
Well, just getting back to the play a couple of minutes ago, I thought that was a pretty ordinary option from John Simon there. The score's 6 all, and he tried to punt for a drop goal to make it 7-6 when they put a bit of pressure on Julian O'Neill all day with the bombs.
3-1 the penalties to Illawarra. Difficult kick for Rod Wishart. 15 in from touch, 22 out. That's what he's got. 2 points waiting for him. In flight, he's hooked it too much. No goal. Scoreline remains at 6 points all.
I do think we should give a rap to the touch judges and the referees for the way that they have refereed themselves over this semi-final series so far. They allowed the advantage to be played there. The touch judge didn't come on at the time. There were another 2 or 3 tackles that the Steelers had up their sleeve, and then he came in, and that's great advantage, the kind of advantage that teams do appreciate.
Pinchinelli. Langer getting through plenty of tackling. Plenty of heavy stuff for him up the middle. There he is, putting tackles back to back. Waddell gets it away for Rodwell. Play almost on the halfway line. McGregor serves it up for Schiaffeletti. Turns it back for Rodwell. But they're not making much ground, the defence from Brisbane. It's tightened up as Simon puts the kick through. Covered up by Lazarus, given away to O'Neill.
The crowd appealing for a penalty there. Kerrod Walters appeared to grab John Simon just after he kicked the football. It was a line ball decision. No, I think he was committed. And Brisbane now have the football. Steve Renouf tackled 30 metres out from his own line.
Yeah, they're having trouble containing Renouf, aren't they? I think he's the most improved player just about in the competition this year. He's really come on in leaps and bounds. He stands a man up and runs around him. And even Paul McGregor, as good a player as he is having trouble containing him.
Can plays the ball. Broncos working it up towards halfway. Through Hancock this time. From Kerrod Walters to Alan Langer. Saw that McIndoe was standing fairly flat. Dropped it down over his head. Riolo has to clean it up. Johns on Riolo. McIndoe now. Comes away from the sideline. Michael Neal. Inside ball for Rodwell. Lazarus tried to put a shoulder charge on Rodwell. It just didn't come off. David Walsh juggling it. Michael Neal. They've got the numbers, have they? No. Brisbane have scrambled well. Bill Dunn tries to keep the ball alive. Pulled down on the halfway mark. Simon drops it onto the right foot. Down towards the wing of Willie Kahn and beyond. Finding the line. 15 away from Brisbane's line.
Marvellous ball skills there from the Illawarra team. It did look as though David Walsh was going to come up with a drop ball. He regathered, kept the ball alive, and Bill Dunn out wide. They were never going to have the speed to make too much of a bust. He took the right option, decided to keep the football. On the next play, Simon has found ground. And the scrum being set by Alan Langer. Picks up Willie Kahn again from the scrum base.
Good front-on tackle by young John Simon, who had a taste of Origin football this year. This is Johns. Back on his own quarter line. Andrew G. 32 out. They keep pumping the blind side. Madison tries to draw them. Puts Renouf into a hole. He gets away from Pinchinelli. Riolo comes at him. Now a race for the ball. Riolo and Renouf. And Riolo puts it dead in goal.
Steve Renouf has got great speed, but he was never going to have the speed to go past David Riolo, one of the quickest players in the competition. Paul Vaughton just gave the man a rap, and again, he stood up Rod Wishart very easily. Pushed off Pinchinelli. Gave Riolo time to turn, and he had too much speed. So some ominous signs starting to appear in this Illawarra defence, Paul.
I really got to ask the question as to why he kicked it. It was early in the tackle camp, possibly the third tackle. If he takes the tackle, Brisbane have got their attacking back line set on the other side of the field. Could have come to a try, but he took the option. It didn't come off for him. Sideline comments, Steve Roach.
Paul, I don't know if the Illawarra coach Graham Murray has noticed that Neil Pinchinelli has been hobbling around. You put your eye on him. He's been hobbling around for the last 10 minutes. He's got a bit of a crook right knee, I'm sure.
Brisbane on the first tackle. They've got play down to the Illawarra 32 line. Kerrod Walters. They work the blind side through G. David Walsh in jumper number 40 with Michael Neal. They make the tackle. This is Kerr.
We're into the final 2.5 minutes here. An important time for Illawarra.
Kerrod Walters out from dummy half. Looks for support. Finds a player. Back to Langer. Langer! Oh! The magic of Langer! Langer puts it down.
You're right, Rabs. All right. Put that down to Kerrod Walters. He's the man who made that little dart from dummy half. He's done it all game. He's also made 20 first half tackles. A great performance by him. But he went up, found Terry Madison in support. This is a beautiful pass. Pinchinelli couldn't knock it down. And one-on Wang. Langer's going to beat anyone you like. I don't care who you are. Would have beaten the best in the game with that right foot step.
Well, great skill here. And there's the key to it. Kerrod Walters getting out and keeping the ball alive. This is a magnificent ball from Madison over the arm of Pinchinelli. And then the big right foot step. David Riolo left sprawled on his back under the post. And that was with 2 minutes to go. And again, we've seen, as we've had throughout the season, that danger period pays dividends. This time it was for the Brisbane side.
10 points to 6 in favour of Brisbane. Madison. Right in front. Beautiful goal earlier on. This one so simple for Terry Madison, straight between the uprights. And it's 12 points to 6 in favour of Brisbane. Steve on the sideline.
I know that everyone raves about the Broncos backline, but it is around the rucks that they show a bit of magic. Great play there from Kieran Walters.
Well, they were a bit scratchy, weren't they, in the first 20 minutes of that game, the Broncos, but they put it together in the last 20, final 20 of that half. Now they lead 12-6. Bennett will be a lot happier than he was 20 minutes ago. And they just have really unleashed. Steve Renouf's had a great game out wide.
Khan. Plenty of work to do today for Willie Khan. Cam getting away from Waddell's tackle. Left for Pincinelli. Only seconds remaining now before the half-time break. Lazarus puts a dent in the defence. Gilmeister calling players to come off him. 3 metres short of the halfway. This will probably be the last play of the first half. Khan chips ahead. Riolo has to go up. Khan makes the tackle on him. And the siren will sound with the scoreboard showing Brisbane leading by 12 points to 6. Tries by Kevin Walters and Alan Langer. Terry Madison 2 from 2. And Illawarra, the try coming from Riolo. The goal, of course, kicked by Rod Wishart, 1 out of 3. So at half-time, the Broncos, the minor premiers, lead Illawarra by 12 points to 6. A break, and then we're back at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Competition favourites Brisbane have their nose in front here at half-time at the football stadium. 12 points to 6 over the Illawarra team. And a man who must be doing it pretty tough on the sideline is one of their chief playmakers, Ian Russell. He's now being interviewed by Tony Ray.
Well, firstly, Ian, how is that hamstring?
Mate, I've been training really hard on it, but at this stage I can't get a full stride. But I'm doing plenty of physio and hopefully doing a couple of runs with Graham Murray in the morning, and that's it.
The side came out at 100 miles an hour. You must be very happy with the start.
Yeah, it's good to get up. The first 10 minutes to get out of the way and to come up with a try. But I think they relaxed in us about 20 minutes later, and they ended up scoring. But we just got to wait and see to the rest of the game. It's a long game.
Down by 6. What needs to happen in the second half, Ian?
At this stage, I don't know what Graham is saying, but hopefully we can pick it up in the forwards. Around the rucks a lot more, and hopefully run a lot wider for because Alfie Langer's just picking us off close to the ruck. But we'll just wait and see and what's going to happen, and hopefully the defence will come out right.
Thanks very much, Ian.
No worries, mate.
Played a major role in Illawarra's march to the top 3 this year. Ian Russell sadly missed with that hamstring injury, and of course he and Dale Fritz will hopefully be back on the field for the Steelers next week, and maybe the grand final the following week. Now we see the first half scoring. Brisbane 12, Langer and Walters. Kevin Walters the try scorers. Riolo for Illawarra early in the game. Wishart 1 from 3. Madison 100% record, 2 from 2. 12-6. The Steelers all to do in the second half. And there are the first half statistics. Not much in possession, really not much between the two teams apart from the missed tackles, and there are a lot of missed tackles for 40 minutes of football. 15 for the Steelers, 11 for the Broncos. That's 26 in all. That is a lot. The handling errors also against the Brisbane team.
And if you remember, Sterlo, at about the 20-minute mark, or even earlier than that, wasn't it, 13 minutes, Brisbane had missed 8 or 9 tackles. So you can see there that their missed tackle count really diminished in the last 20 minutes. Their defence really improved.
This is what we're going to do in the second half. Chris Johns could be saying to Trevor Gilmeister, all they've got to do is the same as they did in the latter part of the first half. They really opened the Steelers up. They looked awesome for that second 20 minutes in that first stanza. 2 tries and 2 goals then to Brisbane. 1 try, 1 goal to Illawarra. And 12-6 the score at half-time. Steve Roach on the sidelines.
Well, the Brisbane Bronco room not so happy with their first 20 minutes, but that shows what a great side these blokes are. They're still ahead. They'd like to see more enthusiasm, make up the first the first up tackles and cut the error rate. In the Illawarra room, there's been just one change, as we alluded to in the first half. Neil Pincinelli has had to leave the field with that knee injury, and Craig Izzard will replace him. He would like to see, the Broncos be put on the ground. They've been allowed to stand in the tackles too much, and also their marker defence. They've got to be a bit more keen in the marker because Kerrod Walters are making too many yards from there.
Okay, Blocker, thank you, as Waddell is tackled on the second tackle of the second half. Izzard, fresh man on. Izzard for Pincinelli. Teetle reaches the 32-metre line. Skiffeletti knocked backwards a dummy half, said the referee.
Well, not about a knock back, looked like a knock on to me, but he's let that one go. Bit of luck there for the Steelers. Now Simon reefs the ball down the field.
Folding in to take it back is Julian O'Neill. Simon leads the chase down the ground, but Khan, or Julian O'Neill I should say, takes it 15 metres out from his own line. This is Khan. Waddell wrestles him down to the ground. There's a look at the top tacklers in the forwards. Well, Kevin Walters, he's not in the, that could be, it is Kerrod in fact with 20, and John Cross 15 for Illawarra topping. Langer 11 out in the backs for Brisbane. Neil and Simon 9 apiece for Illawarra. Ball finding the line. The scrum will go down 30 metres away from the Illawarra line.
Really quiet, the crowd. I know we've only just kicked off in the second half, but towards the end of that first half, a lot of Steelers support here. We really need a little bit of inspiration here. Alan McIndoe trying to provide it by coming in off the scrum. But it's the sort of crowd that could really lift a team in a semi-final, in a close game. Those kind of things can be important. As the knock-on, I think the referee has ruled that Illawarra has knocked on, and this will be a Brisbane feed 10 metres inside the Steelers' territory.
Yes, a pressure pass there by McGregor. Didn't have to be thrown, and Renouf was the one who knocked the ball down. Brisbane feed, and a great chance for the Broncos early in their second half to put more points on the board.
Well, Michael Neal was under the impression that it was a Brisbane knock-on. There was a little bit of a discussion took place between him and the referee. But Alan Langer wins the day and he feeds the scrum. 40 metres out from the opposition line. Long ball away to Johns. Renouf tried to run the angle. Johns held by Rodwell after not being cleaned up completely by McGregor. G running into some heavy artillery. This is Cam. Waddell and Skiffeletti doing the defence work. Kerrod Walters giving it to Glenn Lazarus. Lazarus gets the arm free. Gilmeister tries to roll it away. Skiffeletti gets away for Illawarra though.
And for Skiffeletti to be there was marvellous. He effected 3 tackles and drifted across. He's played a major part out there. I know that Kerrod Walters has played well. As again, Langer comes up with a beauty. But to be over here to pick up this loose ball meant that Skiffeletti had to be close to the football, and he followed it for 30 metres.
Rodwell gets away from dummy half. Promotes about 10 metres of ground for Illawarra. Wishart dragged down by Madison. Madison comes out of the tackle injured as Skiffeletti grubber kicks along the ground, finding the line about 25 metres out from the Brisbane line. 12-6 after 44. He's looking at Madison, back on his feet and getting back into the scrum. Might have got a boot in the mouth, I think, when he made a low tackle.
Brisbane again looking for the winger to take the first pass from the scrum. Julian O'Neill had folded back to the blind side. And Michael Hancock, well, he is a handful. Finally, John Simon and John Cross able to wrestle him to the ground.
G with a handoff for Kerrod Walters. Smothered by the Illawarra defence, though. Cross and Simon. And Kevin Walters away for Cam. 40 metres out from their own line. Brisbane leading by 6. trailing by a similar margin in the early part of the game. Gerard Walters. This is Gilmeister working on that sidestep off the left foot. Gerard now spins it back for Johns. And Johns turns Riolo around into the in goal. Good work by Khan. He was put onside by Johns, and then he made a 40-metre run to make the tackle. That's why we find Illawarra now pressed up against their own line. Skivoletti driven into the ground by Can and Gerard Walters. Tietzel, shoulder charge by Can. McGregor trying to find some space. This Brisbane performance, it's grown in stature. Izzard. Last tackle. Simon ready for the kick. O'Neill folding back. Inside his own 10-metre line. Simon brings the Illawarra Steelers down the ground. O'Neill runs to the Khan wing, and Willie Khan is put down by McIndoe. Gilmeister. Madison, Langer. Now the roar goes up from the crowd for the Steelers. Obviously they've got the weight of numbers here today. Khan trying to brush away from Rodwell. Can. Andrew G, in fact.
That's the kind of run that Brisbane were looking for. They tried to string together a couple of passes without gaining much ground. Madison decides to pick up touch, which he does so 15 metres out.
12-6 then in favour of Brisbane after 47.
Bit of attention there for John Simon. The trainer leaves the field as McIndoe comes in off Michael Neal, the second man to Simon. Tries to split them, but well read by Walters.
Michael Neal.
And Paul Illawarra just not making the ground, even though this will help. The penalty awarded for inside the 5 against the Brisbane team. They're just not making the ground that they were early in this game.
No, the Brisbane defence has fixed itself up. And I think a bit of the intensity's gone out of the match from the first 40 minutes. There's a bit of a lull in the play at the moment. Very expectant crowd waiting for something to happen. And Illawarra, they need to get inside the Brisbane half territorially. All this half is being played in Illawarra's own half, so that they've got a chance here.
I really think that Illawarra have to be the next scorers if they're to stay in this game.
Billy Dunn now. 38,859 here today. That's the biggest crowd of the semi-finals so far. Steve Roach on the sidelines as Craig Tietzel takes the ball up.
I'd like to see the Illawarra side shift the ball a bit out to Paul McGregor and Brett Rodwell. They're their best attacking players. Rodwell comes in and makes a lot of runs around the ruck, but I think he should stay out wide and try and promote the ball out there.
Ball played by Neal. It comes to the right for Waddell. Just outside the Brisbane 22 line. Opportunity for the Steelers. Through 3 sets of hands to McGregor. Gets the pass to McIndoe. It looked a bit hard. And it goes over the sideline.
Just a touch of inexperience here coming out with McGregor, just flicking one, but it was too hard to pass, and McIndoe was covered anyway. He was going nowhere except out over the touchline. That's where the ball ended up, and now a scrum 30 metres out from the Brisbane line.
Willie Khan again. Super game from the Australian winger. 9-4 the scrums to Brisbane. Madison. What a great ball he gave to put Langer in for that try just in front of half-time. That was a classic rugby league pass. Away now to Johns out in the centres. Pulled down almost right on the halfway mark.
Ray, you mentioned the fact that the Brisbane team had the week off and what kind of effect that was going to have. I can't think of anything that is a negative except the fact that their timing might be out early in the game, which we saw. Their passes weren't sticking and they were ill-directed at times, but it was just a matter of getting that timing right. And as the Brisbane team have played this game, the stronger and the better they've looked. It was a pretty ordinary kick, that one, but again, they're playing down this end of the field. And for Illawarra to score, they've got a lot of distance to travel.
Wishart is grabbing inches outside the 22 line. Riddell takes the hit and spin. McGregor comes back off the ground, adds about 5 metres to it. They're out to the 32-metre line, but they're doing it hard. Simon, Rodwell, Langer taking the legs from underneath him. Riolo for Simon. Julian O'Neill positioned nicely, back on his own 22 line.
McIndoe's come in here. Just as well O'Neill couldn't get his ball away, even though McGregor had filled in for McIndoe out wide. But Willie Kahn got into a bit of space, and here he is again. He's been marvellous this afternoon. Made a lot of yards for the Broncos.
Gilmeister, always back there to take that first or second hit up. Kerrod Walters away for Andrew G. Just on their own side of halfway. Matteson pops it down for Kerrod Walters. Now for Langer. Spread back and away for Kerrod Walters. Willie Kahn. McIndoe beats him. Gets inside another. Now he's pulled down and loses the ball. Tremendous effort there by Willie Kahn.
Shouldn't have thrown that ball, but again, a big bust made. Here we see Willie Kahn. He beat McIndoe easily and also beat Riolo, and just tried to get the ball to Kerrod Walters, who continued to back up.
Don't they look good when they put those short passes together between Madison, Langer, and also Kerrod Walters, all having great games, those three, and Kahn just couldn't finish that one off, but McIndoe's having a few problems with Kahn out in the wing there.
Schiavoletti. Kerrod Walters, talking of him, he doesn't seem to be showing any signs of that groin injury that took him out of the game for the last few weeks of the Premiership proper. Cross. Oh, good break. Billy Dunn backing up. Takes it over the halfway. Cross has proved a bit of a danger for Brisbane. Riolo, he might have got a little trip there from one of the Brisbane players. McCallum doesn't think so.
Once again, you've got to question the option still. It wasn't the fifth tackle.
No, but he did see that the tackle had been made by Julian O'Neill, and the fullback was actually up at the play the ball area. But the wingers for Brisbane did very well. Both Kahn and Hancock reacted, and they got back there in time.
Hancock. Away from Waddell. Hancock to the halfway. Great chase by Simon and Riolo. Kerrod Walters away for Langer. Out and away from Gilmeister. Smother tackle made out wide by McGregor on Madison. G. Kerrod Walters gets the kick in on the last. The bounce, oh, it almost came down into the hands of Willie Kahn. 12-6 after 53. Neal, Schiavoletti, Rodwell. Well, he didn't need that ball, really. Wishart on a quick play the ball. 20 metres out from his own line. Schiavoletti works the wide blind for Izzard. Izzard tries to buffet his way up the ground.
And the game's starting to warm up again now, 15 minutes into the second half. A few chinks in both defences. Illawarra trying to keep the ball alive. They've come up with a mistake. You can't afford that.
Tietzel tried to get a pass away to a call that he heard on his inside. Ball popped out. Of course, the mistake made on their own end of the stadium. Now Langer, he loses the ball, trying to get a pass away.
Great work, Michael Neal. Knocked the ball back to his own players, and they'll go wide straight away.
I thought Izzard knocked on as he tried to get up and play it.
Here we see Michael Neal. There he is, knocks the ball back. Dived on by Izzard. And unfortunately, Illawarra made another mistake. Khan's in open spaces. Skipperlity cleans him up, but he gets up again.
Pulled down eventually by Michael Neal and also by Waddell. Brisbane now to the left. They'll come with the long passes. Kevin Walters. 32-metre line. Right in the centre of the ground. Kevin Walters goes from dummy half. 12-6 in favour of Brisbane. 15 minutes of the second half gone. Short pass to Can. Can shrugs off one tackle. That of Izzard, pulled down by Neal. To the right for Langer. Back inside it comes for Gilmeister. Outside for Lazarus. Lazarus pulled down close to the line. Referee McCallum has spotted a knock on.
Unfortunate for the Broncos, things looking bad for the Steelers now. The Brisbane side putting their game together. Lazarus just charged ahead, knocked a couple out of the way.
Well, the man he went straight through was Steve Waddell, and he's come up with a couple of missed tackles lately. Wouldn't be surprised if Graham Murray looks to get a fresh man back on, maybe David Walsh into the fray. Izzard's already out there. Steve Waddell just starting to look a little bit tired out there and missing some crucial tackles.
Cross. 6 metres inside his own quarter. Teitzel. Skipperlity. Waddell. Oh. Ripple tackle from
That's a
Gilmeister.
Gilly special, that one.
Izzard. Simon. Oh, beautifully taken by Glenn Lazarus. He was standing at silly mid-on. He was still able to take the catch. Hancock. Inside the 32 and almost to the quarter. Kieran Walters to dummy half. Out the back for Langer. Across now for Johns. Pushes away from Dunn. Gets away from another, but not from Skipperlity. 5 metres from the line. Langer's calling it on the left. Langer, long pass. Kevin Walters struggles with the defence, but pulled down 11 metres out. Langer again. Little sprint, in and away, and down. Langer, I think, has got his second try.
Yes, he has.
Yes. Langer scores his second.
And the great players in this game make things look very easy, and that did look easy. He just took the defence on, got the step going, and he beat a couple of players pointlessly. 16 points to 6, 12 minutes into the second half. 18 minutes into the second half, I'm sorry. There's the left foot step, beat the forwards, took Riolo on, carried him over the line, and somehow was able to get the football down.
Alfie Langer's just cut loose now. He's got the running game going man on man. He beat Teitzel. The big fella couldn't foot it with him, and over he went, got the ball down. A few anxious moments there. Mick Neal's blowing up. He didn't get it down, sir, but then the try's awarded, and he spat the dummy.
Well, is it any wonder he's rated the most valuable player? 10 tries for the year for Alan Langer. Madison. Only about 15 metres away. Similar margin off centre. Strikes it sweetly. Another goal for Terry Madison. A further 2 points for Brisbane. They lead by 18 points to 6 now. John Simon slowly brings the ball back to the halfway.
And Craig Teitzel, the man who unfortunately missed Alfie Langer, has been replaced, and David Walsh, the man to go on in his position.
Renoff. Kieran Walters. This is the second play. since the restart. Craig Tietzel, the front rower, has been replaced. Knock-on rule by McCallum, 18-6 in favour of Brisbane as we go to the sideline. Steve Roach.
We just saw why Alan Langer is the best halfback in the world. He's one of the only very few players that I've ever seen that can score on will.
Now it's Illawarra's turn. McGregor stampeding over the top of the player on the ground. Simon for Neil. Wide for Skifoletti. Now for Cross. Cut out ball. Sends McIndoe down the sideline, but Langer was across there.
Beautiful play, Alfie Langer. Read the play sensationally, just drifted across. Khan made a mistake. He came in, left to Langer to go over and cover the fence, and they eventually forced the man into touch.
It's good work by the Steelers. They realised that they had a chance out wide, and unfortunately Alan McIndoe, there's too much weight there. Alan Langer and Glenn Lazarus was the other man who did a marvellous job to get across there as Chris Johns comes across to the blood bin.
Steve Roach.
Yeah, Chris Johns off to the blood bin, and an ex-international, Tony Curry, coming on to replace him.
Tony Curry has seen rugby league at all levels, as Blocker just pointed out. And that's what makes this Brisbane club so awesome. They've got players coming off the bench that can get the job done equally as well. Gavin Allen. Andrew G has come from the field. It was Gavin Allen, in fact, who took his place. Madison bumping away again from Waddell. 10 metres from the halfway mark. Kerrod Walters decides that it's time for a dummy half scoot. Madison a dummy half. Langer at first receiver. Puts the boot to the ball. Riolo 10 metres out from his own line.
You can always tell how keen a side is by their kick chasers, and even at this stage of the game, with 18-6 in front, their kick chasers, they're chasing like demons, the Broncos, and they know that they've got a grand final ahead of them. Now they're spaced. McIndoe down the flanks.
Julian O'Neill across in cover. Gets some help there from Willie Kahn.
One thing I have noticed about Julian O'Neill is he plays very flat for fullback. He's only 10 or 15 metres behind the front defensive line on a lot of occasions. And there, Alan McIndoe, I don't think he'd have expected to run into a fullback for another 15 or 20 metres as Craig Izzard puts Bill Dunn into a gap. Here's Wishart getting involved. Great tackle, Kerrod Walters front on.
5 gone. Izzard is injured in the background. Skifoletti puts the grubber through. It came off the boot of Lazarus. Dived on by O'Neill.
And Wishart's down injured as well. That was a fantastic tackle by Kerrod Walters. By no means a big man, but he handled Wishart at full pace quite easily.
This is Tony Curry. Not going anywhere. Held by Cross. Gavin Allen. Lazarus striding away from 1 or 2, dragging a third down the ground. Kerrod Walters into dummy half. Langer's got the ball. Riolo again, a long chase back into the in goal, but it'll go dead. And back out to the 22 for the restart for the Steelers.
Another replacement on the Brisbane side. Kevin Walters has been given a rest, the 5'8", and number 20, John Platt, is the interchange player.
Waddell. Johns has been to the blood bin and been taped up. McIndoe. Away for Neil. Simon's with it. McGregor now. Got a pass out the back. Rodwell supported. Quick play the ball. Izzard. Neil. Now Cross. Great work by the Steelers. Cross, supported by Billy Dunn. He's been all over the place today, Bill Dunn, for a big man. Now the Steelers crowd get behind their team. Done away for Walsh. It's on the carpet, picked up by Cross.
Yeah, that was great pressure defence. There's 6 to go now. Great defence by Gilmeister.
Riolo tries to make the split, wrapped up by Lazarus. Quick play the ball. Waddell for Skiffeletti. David Walsh tries to put a hole in the defence. 12 metres from the line. Skiffeletti for Neil. Izzard runs decoy. McGregor tries to get outside. The ball comes off the back of Alan Langer. Neil drops the ball.
Well, they do need to try, the Steelers, but they're putting themselves under some pressure with some ordinary passes. McNeil's down injured now.
Just a touch of panic coming into the Illawarra play at the moment. They've still got 15 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time to bridge this gap. It appears though they want to do it in every play. Here's Michael Neil paying the penalty for holding the ball in one arm, and out it came.
Tony Curry coming from the field after doing a blood bin replacement for Chris Johns. Hancock. Plath. Run down by Rodwell and McGregor. Khan.
Methodical work here from the Brisbane team. They'll kick on this play. Goes back to Alan Langer. He drives it down in between. No, David Riolo, but he has a play at the ball, so everybody is onside. Alan McInday trying to get into some space outside. Takes on Willie Kahn. Kahn takes him very well front on. Plath's going to take him over the sideline. Well, that's poor play from an experienced player in McInday, giving possession across in good field position, courtesy of this scrum.
13.5 minutes to go. Steve Roach.
A bit of news on Kevin Walters. He's just got a bruised hip, but he'll be ready in the next couple of weeks for the big one, the grand final.
Plath at 5'8" with the ball. Gilmeister. Izzard and Simon making the tackle. 18-6 in favour of the Broncos. Langer runs straight at them, comes out the other side, puts Khan away for a try. Looked so easy, didn't it? But one has to marvel at the strength of this little player, Alan Langer. 22-6 after 68.
Yes, fantastic strength and skills by Alfie Langer. There was nothing doing here, nothing on at all. Alfie's running into a heap of trouble. They both went high, like coming through a sandwich. And Willie Kahn, a great finishing winger that he is, the one-handed put down, and it's all over now. Brisbane 22, the Steelers 6.
Well, he didn't have much finishing to do, Willie Kahn, after the work done by Langer. It's just a show of strength. He's just pushed straight through Michael Neil. And then the simple pass to the right-hand side to Willie Kahn. John Simon had come again. He was another player who was beaten in that tackle. A lot of tries for Kahn. 11 for the season. But Alan Langer made that one, well, he presented it on a platter to him.
Well, Sterlo, you've played against some great halfbacks in an illustrious career. How do you rate Alan Langer?
Well, I don't think we've seen the best of Alan Langer, and that's something that must be mind-boggling for the rest of the teams. He's a marvellous competitor, and I suppose the testimony to that is whatever team Langer plays in, the first thing that you're contemplating doing in the game coming up is stopping Langer. They haven't done that this afternoon. He's been involved in all of their tries.
Madison has got 3 out of 3, but he's on the sideline. He's got the length and the height, but it's got away. No goal. Brisbane leading by 22 points to 6. Just getting back to that question, I've got a funny feeling I didn't get an answer, Fatty, from the illustrious one.
Well, halfbacks never give other halfbacks a rap, you know, that raps. But he's a magnificent player. Remember when he first came into State of Origin in 1987, lots of question marks over how he would handle the occasion, but he's been brilliant since that very first time he played State of Origin.
Ray, you talk to anyone about Alan Langer, and I think the nice thing about him is that he is one of the greats of the game now, but he's still the same bloke that went from Ipswich to play at the Broncos, very unassuming. But when he's on form, and he has been all this season, he's almost unstoppable, and they haven't been able to stop him this afternoon. You know, those kind of tries break your heart. Here he is, creating something again out wide for Willie Kahn.
Kahn pushing away from Michael Neal. Comes back and Neal is there waiting for him.
They'll run him some more points here, the Brisbane team.
Just as likely to, and I see that Mark Hone has taken the field. Mark Hone, of course, was injured about 3 or 4 weeks ago, had a deep gash to his knee. He'll take the ball up in a minute, and he's replaced Terry Madison. That knee obviously still playing up.
Now they go to the right. Langer's in everything now. Puts that kick back in the opposite direction to what he was running. Wishart off his own line. Renoff makes the tackle. 11 metres out from the Illawarra line.
Ryan
15 is on Ryan Girdler for Illawarra. Riolo put down by Gilmeister.
What do you make of the Steelers today? Still, they've played okay, I think. They've been outclassed probably all over the park in the final 60 minutes of the game, but they went very well. They've made a few clean breaks and haven't capitalised on them. Some unforced errors, such as Alan McIndoe's gone in the touch a few times, haven't helped.
Well, as we said, they started the game off at 100 miles an hour, and unfortunately, their intensity did drop a little bit with a mistake made here. Skiffletti picks up Michael Neal. He won't have the pace. John Plath coming across, drags him to the ground. Now, they'll work to the end here, but they have made a lot of elementary mistakes that we haven't seen late in the season from them, and they've missed too many tackles.
Wide passing by Illawarra now. Rodwell goes back inside. 22-6. 8 3/4 to go. Izzard, short ball for McGregor. Players right in front of Steve Roach.
Yeah, great to see Mark Hone get a run. He's been one of Brisbane's best all season. Even when the representative players were out, he held the side together along with Gilmeister.
Bill Dunn. Good work for David Welsh to go ahead. 15 out from the line now.
Well, come the blind again. John Simon's got a few people out there, but Brisbane have recovered pretty well. Simon tries to get that miracle pass away. It hasn't worked, and Renoff will come up with the football, and that just about sums up the performance of Illawarra over this last 15 or 20 minutes. Too desperate, and they've come up with the mistake at the wrong time.
Lazarus. Bumping run. Getting it outside the quarter. Now Gilmeister. Plath. 35 out from his own line. Put down over the top by John Cross. Kerrod Walters goes blindside for Langer to kick. Cleaned up by Girdler. Given to Riolo. Turned away for Neal. Spread across for Skiffletti. Outside the 40-metre line. Inside goes Rodwell. Pulled down right on the halfway mark. No markers, so Rodwell pinches another 7 metres. Skiffletti. Non-stop performance by the captain.
He's had a fine game being Skiffletti. Lost nothing in comparison with his opponent, who has also played very well. Steve Waddell tackled. They're going right to the death, the Steelers, as Craig Izzard comes in late in the tackle count, beats one tackle, and gets a great ball to Rodwell.
Yeah, super pass by Izzard. 15 metres out from the line. This is the last. Neal switches it from blind to open for Riolo to kick, and O'Neill to jump and take it. Brought down 12 out from his own line. Kahn, one of the star players of the game. Hone. Kerrod Walters. Ball goes to ground and Skiffletti comes up with it. Riolo chimes in. Langer puts him out. McGregor now with the ball, but it's gone down to Izzard. He's inside the 32-metre line. Only one support player. That was Michael Neal. To the blind side for Skiffletti. Cross. Simon, Neil, cuts out Walsh. Came off the hand of McGregor to Rodwell. Out to Wishart. Beautiful tackle by Renouf.
That'll be a penalty. It'll go to the Steelers. Thought that Wishart, the tackle had been completed.
No, I don't think he was dragged out, Sterl. I just thought when he was getting up to play the ball, here's the beautiful covering tackle by Renouf. He's into touch there. The touch judge missed it, but he did see him put his foot in the touch when he got up to play it. But a magnificent tackle by Renouf. Been very impressed today from the Steelers with their back rowers in Cross and Dunn. I think they've been a couple of their best, along with Skiffality.
Michael Hancock.
Haven't stopped trying.
Plath. Good yards, taking it out to the 22-metre line. Under 5 minutes to go. And Brisbane looking down at another week's rest, while Illawarra and St George go round again to work out who will enter the grand final against them. Hone. Plath. Langer has gone back into the cruise mode.
Well, the Brisbane team have generally, I think, I said that they'd score some more points. You get that feeling about them that they could put a try on whenever they like. Now, I know that's a big statement at semi-final football, but they certainly do have the capacity to make a bust. I think they've sort of got next week in mind. They've had a look. It's 22-6. They just want to get through this game. 3.5 minutes to go. They're pretty happy with the scoreline.
Rodwell. Wishart. Wishart, pulled down high.
Well, Glenn Lazarus is the man who'll be spoken to here. He's got a bit of a hold at the top of Rod Wishart there. Touch judge comes on a little bit too late. It had already been seen. Nothing to it. Let's have the kick for touch.
Simon finding the line 12 metres out from the Brisbane goal line. Skiffaleti. 3 metres out from the line. Simon around the back for Rodwell. Langer comes into the play and puts him down. Neil. Simon. Neil switching the point of the attack for Skiffaleti. Back for Neil. Now Waddell. Waddell about 3 metres out. 2.5 minutes of the match remaining. Izzard gets it away for McGregor. McGregor comes around behind Bill Dunn. I thought it should have been a Shepherd. It's gone out and Wishart puts it down. They'll rule a try here. Wishart gets the try. But I still believe that Bill Dunn ran a decoy which created an obstruction. 22 points to 10.
Well, let's have a look at if there was a Brisbane player taken out here. Well, I don't know. Well, Alan Langer was the man that was always going to make the tackle on McGregor. He was allowed to come up with it. I know that one of the Brisbane players was taken out, but he was never going to be his man. One of those decisions that could go either way. It's not going to make any difference to this course of this game. A very good try scored late in the match, Fatty.
Yeah, some great skill there shown by the Steelers. Some good hands by the centre pairing of Rodwell and McGregor. 22-10. This is a very important kick, you know. If he kicks this and Illawarra have got another set of 6, they've got a sniff. Anything could happen.
What are you on, footy tag?
No. But funny, it's a funny game, rugby league.
It's not that funny.
The game
And he's
is
kicked
over.
it.
Look at the kick from the sideline. A perler of a kick from Rod Wishart.
You can get on with me with a minute and 10 seconds to go.
Well, I wouldn't like to, but anything can happen. It's a minute to go.
Well, the kick from Wishart was absolutely spot on from the sideline. And 22 points to 12, the scoreboard.
That is the scoreline, isn't it, Ray? 22-12.
I think Fatty thinks there's another
hang on.
two there, Shane.
Give yourself a dozen, Fatty. It's 22-12, yeah, Goose. But once again, Wayne Bennett, he must be critical of his side. They've done this many times during the season where they've got in front, and I don't care if you're leading by 22-6 or 48-10, it doesn't matter. You've got to finish the game off, and they still haven't done that today.
Izzard. A disappointed Graham Murray. He's got the task of now taking them back, regrouping, thinking about St George. Neil. High ball, the chase is on. Khan decides to reply with the kick. Riolo cleans up in time. The siren sounds, and Brisbane have won by 22-12.
There's a touch, John Ray, for that last little incident there between Khan and Wishart. Nothing in it really. Khan was just holding back Wishart full time.
So McCallum says, that's it, no more. 22-12, 4 tries and 3 goals for Brisbane. 2 tries for Langer, tries by Kevin Walters and Willie Khan. Illawarra 2 tries and 2 goals, losing by 22-12.